mademoiselle, it is with the deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you tonight. And now we invite you to relax and put up a chair as the dining room proudly presents your dinner. Be our guest, be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie a napkin around your neck, Sherry, and we'll provide the rest. Soup du jour, hot hors d'oeuvre, why we only live to serve. Try the gray stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe me, ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance. After all, miss, this is France, and a dinner here is never second best. Go on and fold your menu, take a glance, and then you'll be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Beef ragout, cheese soufflé, pie and pudding all flambé. We'll prepare and serve with flair a culinary cabaret. You're alone and you're scared, but the banquet's all prepared. No one's gloomy or complaining while the flatware's entertaining. We tell jokes, I do tricks with my fellow candlesticks, and it's all in perfect taste that you can bet. Come on and lift your glass. You've won your own free pass to be our guest. If you're stressed, it's fine dining we suggest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Life is so unnerving for a servant who's not serving, and he's not without a soul to wait upon. All those good old days when we were useful, suddenly those good old days were gone. 10 years we've been rusting, needing so much more than dusting, needing exercise, a chance to use our skill. Most days we just lay around the castle, fat, flabby, flat and lazy. You walked in and whoops-a-daisy, it's a guest, sakes alive and I'll be blessed. Wine's been poured and thank the Lord I've had the napkins fully pressed. With dessert, she'll want tea, and my dear, that's fine with me. While the cups do their soft shoeing, I'll be bubbling, I'll be brewing, I'll get warm, piping hot. Heaven's sakes, is that a spot? Clean it up, we don't want company impressed. We've got a lot to do. Is it one lump or two? For you, our guest, she's our guest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Our command is your request. It's been years since we've had anybody here, and we're obsessed with your meal, with your ease. Yes, indeed, we aim to please. While the candlelight's still glowing, let us help you, we'll keep going. And I'll turn the page, course by course, one by one, till you shout, enough, I'm done. And we'll sing you off to sleep as you digest. Tonight you'll prop your feet up, or now let's eat up. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Please be our guest. Be our guest. Well, good night, everybody. Billy's Place, the vibe is light and breezy. Billy's Place, it's a virtual speakeasy, my home base. I'm glad that you dropped by. Time to grab a libation from the shelf. Have whatever you want, you gotta make it yourself. Sit back, relax, I'll make your troubles fly. A musical trip, nothing complicated, and if you tip, that's appreciated. Good fellowship with no mask on our face. From apartment 5 across the park, I'm singing and swinging till it gets dark. Don't worry about finding a place to park, just park it at Billy's Place. Park it at Billy's Place. Well, everybody, hey, be our guest at Billy's Place. It's tonight. It's Thursday, the 29th of July, episode 57. I gotta breathe after that. It's Disney favorites, starting with that great song from Beauty and the Beast, and moving on to songs that don't have quite that many words from now on. But I hope you like the songs that I've chosen for you tonight. A lot of you made some great requests, and some of these are my favorites as well. So sit back, get get your drink, put your feet up, take a breath. I'll take a breath. All right, here we go. Just parking at Billy's place. Well, how about that? Be our guest. That has got more words. It's one of the rare songs that I had to go on to 3 pages of lyrics. Anyway, I was nervous about that, but I got it out of the way. And here's a medley of 2 of my favorite Disney songs from really, really old classic films. And they're slower. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartaches. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do. Fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Two great songs, some of my favorites. Oh, my friend Raisa Katona Bennett is watching tonight. Hi, honey, I'm so glad you're watching. when Connor and Sarim are in heaven, because Sarim is, or Sarim, I never know how to say your name, pal, but you're my good friend. He is a Disney princess fanatic and is a beautiful artist and does his own takes on all those. And so you guys are up at 1 o'clock in the morning in London and watching me, and that is like, I know how hard that is. But you're probably on your third martini, fourth maybe, I don't know. It's great. Billy Gilman is watching tonight, and did you really like Be Our Guest? He said it was brilliant. I think that's maybe overstating it just a little bit, but thank you so much, my friend. You know your support means everything in the world to me. I'm glad to know you guys are watching tonight, and I have a couple of announcements before I go any further. First of all, it's my friend Steve Bakunis' birthday. Happy birthday, Steve. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me? When he's 64, that's a clue. And it's his birthday, so I love you, pal. You're like my brother from another mother, and I am so thrilled that you're having a birthday and that we're here to celebrate it. Last week, I meant to thank my friend Larry for, about every 3 or 4 months, I say, gee, Larry, I got to have my piano tuned, and he Venmos me the money to have that done. So Larry Kirchner, thank you so much for tuning my piano last week. That is a wonderful deal. And I want to thank my piano playing friend out on the West Coast, James Spencer. When he found out I was doing a Disney show yesterday or the day before, he sent me a PDF of the Disney fake book, and it's got like 200 songs, and it was a big help. And so thank you so much for that. I downloaded it and I printed out a few things because I had some chord questions, and those things are always valuable to have. So James, thank you for that. I wanted to do a special shout out to my dear friend Julie Halston, because Julie, if you guys are in New York and follow theater at all, you know and adore Julie like I do. And yesterday, she got the very exciting news that she is receiving an honorary Tony Award it's the Isabel Stevenson Award for humanitarian efforts. This year at the Tony Awards, she's going to get her own Tony because she has given so much time and raised so much money for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation in honor and in the name of her wonderful husband, who we all adored, Ralph Howard, who sadly passed away from that devastating disease. But Julie has done so much to help people who are afflicted with the pulmonary problems, and she is getting recognized for her efforts by the Tony Awards, and it couldn't happen to a nicer person. I wanted to mention that the Disney thing is very special because, we have two sweet dogs. Minnie, who had a birthday just a few days ago, and I think I put pictures on Facebook of Minnie. She, when we first got her, we weren't sure what to name her, but she's got these beautiful white paws, so we named her Minnie for Minnie Mouse, right? That's right. So she has a Disney connection. And also, it's our dear Chloe. A couple days ago was the anniversary of the day that we brought her home. And we've regretted that decision ever since.
We did this morning.
Actually, this morning we did. We started off the morning. Well, you don't want to know what we found on the floor. But anyway, she just looked at us like, I love you, Daddy. Here's a present. Anyway, we love these two rascals. What else? The merchandise. I always talk about the merchandise, the caps, the T-shirts, the wine totes, the cheese boards, the mugs, the coasters, the tumblers, all that stuff. It's available if you go to my website, billystritch.com, and go to the merchandise store. You can get all that, plus the Billy's Place CD, which I hold up every week. I'm not even going to hold it up this week, but it is available for me to sign if you want me to sign it. Otherwise, if you just want to hear it, which I would love, just go to your favorite streaming service, Pandora or iTunes or Apple or any of those, and you can download it. It's called Billy's Place. I'm very excited. The album came out last October, but of course, I don't know if you know, we were in the middle of this weird thing called a pandemic, so it was really hard for me to do anything official to celebrate it. So actually next week, I'll be doing 5 shows over 3 nights at my beloved performing home base here in New York, the great Birdland, and it's kind of a celebration of the album. So I'll be there Thursday night for one show, and then Friday and Saturday for two shows. And if you're in New York, I'd love to see you there. I'm going to be there with my trio, and we're going to do songs from the album and other things. So, and which also means that I will not be sitting here next Thursday for Billy's Place. I'm going to take that week off, and I'll be back with you on Thursday, August 12th. So anyway,
Halston's late, but she's finally here.
Who's late in here?
Julie Halston.
Oh, Julie Halston, I just did a big shout out for you, Julie Halston, about your Tony Award. Did you get here in time to hear it? Anyway, they all heard it, and everybody's so thrilled for you, Julie. It's just fantastic. Julie Halston is getting an honorary Tony, and no one deserves it more. Oh, I'm so thrilled. I was just walking around so thrilled yesterday. I'm just delighted for you. Okay, also, tips. You know, tips, guys. Tips are really appreciated because even though I'm out in the world doing some work, you know, we're still setting this up. We actually just bought a brand new computer. It's called a Mac Mini, and we're going to start using it next week. And it's going to, you know, it's got all this great power to it. And you know, we're just trying to upgrade and do stuff. So whatever you can send is really appreciated. Some of you tip every week, and some of you tip on alternate weeks, and some of you don't tip, but it's all good. You can do that through PayPal or Venmo, and like I said, anything, $1, $5, $10, $100,000. It's all good. Send whatever you can, and I'll keep doing these shows. We've got them planned out and mapped out on the calendar to at least the end of the year. So, all right, moving on with great Disney classic songs. Here's another classic from a long time ago, a song written by Bob Hilliard and Sammy Fain. Alice in Wonderland, how do you get to Wonderland? Over the hill or underland or just behind a tree. When clouds go rolling by, they roll away and leave the sky. Where is the land beyond the eye that people cannot see? Where can it be? Where do stars go? Where is the crescent moon? They must be somewhere in the sunny afternoon. Alice in Wonderland, where is the path to Wonderland? Over the hill or here or there, I wonder where. Oh, that's such a sweet song. And thank you, Jane Schechter, for requesting that. Right after my show last week, she wrote me and said, I'd like to hear what you would do with that great Sammy Fain song. And, it's a jazz standard, and I kind of really didn't know that. And then I went back and listened to Bill Evans and Oscar Peterson, and a lot of people covered that as an instrumental. And it's charming, I think. I like that song very, very much. All right, so Mary Poppins. This is probably the first Disney film that I really, really remember seeing. I remember seeing Disney animated films, but the first live action film that I remember seeing on the big screen was Mary Poppins. And it must have been in a re-release because I think it came out in '64, but I'm sure they re-released it in the theater every few years. And I do vividly remember seeing it. And it was such a thrill years later to meet Julie Andrews on several occasions. And when I was doing 42nd Street on Broadway, we heard that she was going to come to the theater and see the show. So Doug and I got together all the memorabilia that we could find. And one of the things that she signed for us is this really wonderful, it's a laser disc. Okay, does anybody still play laser discs? Doug used to have a very extensive collection of laser discs. Anyway, it says, "For Doug with love from Julie Andrews." Isn't that sweet? And she signed it. Didn't she sign a DVD? And she signed like three.
And she signed the Laserdisc of Sound of Music.
Laserdisc of Sound of Music as well. She signed everything that everybody brought. Could not have been more gracious. And P.S., that's how she is. She is absolutely gracious. And so we just thought we'd show that off tonight. So I'd like to do a couple of songs from that great score of Mary Poppins. The songs obviously, of course, written by the Sherman brothers, Richard and Robert Sherman, the boys, as Walt Disney referred to them. In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's a game. And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go round, the medicine go down, the medicine go down. Yes, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. A robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest while gathering his bits of twine and twig. Though quite intent in his pursuit, he has a merry tune to toot. He knows a song will move the job along, for a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, the medicine go down. Yes, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Because they take a little nip from every flower that they sip, and hence they find their task is not a grind. Yes, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, the medicine go down. Yes, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. In the most delightful taking a little nip. So it reminded me of this. I didn't acknowledge my drink tonight. You know, I forgot to announce signature cocktail this week, and Doug and I both realized that this morning, I guess. And he said, well, you know, you could have a practically perfect martini. I mean, Manhattan, which is what this is. It's, you know, it's the bourbon, and it's half a portion of dry vermouth and half a portion of sweet vermouth. It's called a perfect Manhattan. And this is like a practically perfect in every way. So cheers, everybody. Here's another one. This, I have to say, was the most requested. There's something about this song. Everybody just loves it. And it was Walt Disney's favorite. I'm sure all of you know that story. You know, the Sherman Brothers wrote so many great musicals. You know, they were just like the staff guys, and they were definitely family at Disney. And when they would knock off for the day, or if they, you know, at the end of the day, go by Walt's office to say goodbye, he would say, oh, play it for me, boys. You know, this was the song that he always loved to hear. This was the one, so play it, boys. And so many people requested this from Mary Poppins. Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes in her own special way to the people she calls. Come buy my bags full of crumbs. Come feed the little birds, show them you care. You'll be glad if you do. The young ones are hungry, their nests are so bare. All it takes is tuppence from you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds. That's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the skies. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see it, you know they're smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Simple and few. Listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence. Mary Mary Poppins, that great, oh, wow. Just can't imagine a world without Mary Poppins. What a fantastic film. When we first got Disney Plus, like 4 or 5 months ago, we got a deal to get Disney Plus, you know. And so we signed up for it, and that was the first thing I watched. I was flipping through. There's so much good stuff. It's like, oh, Mary Poppins. I got to watch Mary Poppins on my big TV on Disney Plus. Never get tired of that one. Okay, here's another one that I never get tired of. Now, this was remade, and the remake was okay, but there really isn't anything to compare with the original one. Starring Brian Keith, Maureen O'Hara, and Haley Mills. And the theme song was sung by Tommy Sands and Annette. If their love's on skids, treat your folks like kids. Are your family trees gonna snap? So to make them dig, first you gotta rig. What do you gotta rig? The Parent Trap. If they lose that sing and they just won't swing, then the problem falls in your lap. When your folks are square, then you must prepare. What do you gotta prepare? The Parent Trap. To set the bait, we create the date. The first time Cupid shot 'em, get 'em under the moon, play the favorite tune. John, Marcia, you got 'em. Lead 'em back to love with a velvet glove, 'cause they're much too old for the strap. Straighten up their mess with togetherness. The Parent Trap. John, they're playing our song. I know it. Oh, Mama, what fools we've been. Love's on skids. Treat 'em like kids. Lose that sing and make 'em swing. Love's a mess. Togetherness. Bless our happy home. Lead 'em back to love with a velvet glove, 'cause they're much too old for the strap. Straighten up their mess with togetherness. The Parent Trap. That's a good one, but here's the one that I love the most. And again, written by the Sherman Brothers. Let's get together, yeah. Why don't you and I combine? Let's get together, what do you say? We can have a swing in time. We'd be a crazy team. Why don't we make the scene together? Let's get together, yeah. Oh, yeah. Think of all that we could share. Let's get together every day, every way and everywhere. And though we haven't got a lot, we could be sharing all we got together. Oh, I really think you're swell. You really ring the bell. Ooh-wee, if you stick with me, nothing could be greater. Say, hey, alligator, let's get together. Yeah. Two is twice as nice as one. Let's get together right away. We'll be having twice the fun, and you can always count on me. A gruesome twosome we will be. Let's get together. Yeah. Oh, I really think you're swell. Oh, you really ring the bell. Ooh-wee, if you stick with me, nothing could be greater than, hey, alligator, let's get together. Yeah. Two is twice as nice as three is twice. Yeah. Let's get together right away. We'll be having thrice fun, and you can always count on me. A gruesome threesome we will be. Let's get together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right, this is Doug. You guys know Doug. And this is Doug's niece, my niece, Rachel. And Rachel's parents are watching, so they didn't know she was going to be here, so it's a nice surprise. So we decided we all get together and say hi to you guys, to Donna and Jim up there in Chicopee. Not Chicopee. Southwick, yes, Southwick, Mass, close to Chicopee. They came from Chicopee. Anyway, wasn't that fun? And Jessica's watching too. Thanks for joining us, Rachel. It's kind of fun. It's great. It's great. Okay, she's done. All right, Doug wanted to show something here. So Doug, come here on the mic. Come sit and tell everybody.
On the topic of Chicopee, that's my hometown in Western Massachusetts. It's right next to Holyoke, Massachusetts, which is my mom's hometown. And Holyoke, Massachusetts is the home of the second largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the country, next to New York City.
Wow.
And in 1982, the Grand Marshal of the Holyoke St. Patrick's Day Parade was Maureen O'Hara. So I had this from the time I was, 7 years old, and it's the album of The Parent Trap and Summer Magic and In Search of the Castaways, all starring Haley Mills.
Right.
And as the car went by with Maureen O'Hara, I went running up to it, and I got her to sign this for me. Maureen O'Hara, it says right there.
That's good.
And our friend Mark, he's a big aficionado of LPs and vinyl. He collects, and he made Billy a nice vinyl album of your
my record,
your first CD. Mark Ramsey. And he the other day requested the song. And you know what else? Billy Gilman just mentioned that this was a Sublime song, the one that Maureen O'Hara sings on the album, For Now, For Always.
For Now, For Always.
And our dear friend Julie Halston, remember last summer, about this time we went out to dinner with her?
Yes.
And she was talking about how she loved Haley Mills, and I dug this album out, and I copied the pictures I have of Maureen O'Hara and sent them to her, and she's on our feed right now going, Haley Mills got us, yes.
That's
so
right.
This is one of my most treasured possessions. It's signed by Maureen O'Hara. I love it.
Okay. Good.
So that's all. I'll leave you.
That's okay.
I'll leave you alone now.
Thanks for showing that to everybody. I think that's very cool. I know Mark Ramsey thinks that's cool to have LPs. I mean, it's great. And then the other one, of course, which a lot of people have seen, but this is one that Doug has had forever too. This is like, maybe the original, one of the original ones. I mean, they put these albums out so many times, but anyway, we thought we'd show those off to you tonight. Maureen O'Hara, she was so glamorous, right? That red hair.
Yeah.
I loved her. Isn't she in Pollyanna too? She's in.
No.
Oh, that's not her.
When I handed her the record,
Right.
and she was in the car, it seemed as if she was surprised by its very existence. She went,
Oh.
a record.
Oh, right. So it's like she didn't even know that record existed.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that she didn't scream that you ran up to her and tried to. Well, you were a little kid, so it didn't matter, right? All right. So moving on, did I mention? Okay, if you just joined us, God, you've missed a lot. So much has happened. But this is Billy's Place, episode 57. Gratefully accepting your tips on PayPal and Venmo. The Venmo address is @Billy-Stritch, and the PayPal is bstritch@yahoo.com. And if you don't use those online apps, you can write me on the Facebook Messenger, and I'll send you an address where you can send a check. And it's all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for keeping us going for, almost 15 months now, since May 7th of last year when we did our first nighttime version of Billy's Place, 57 weeks in. Anyway, here's a beautiful song from certainly a more recent Disney classic, and it's from Aladdin. It's one of those beautiful Disney princesses that you love, Sarah. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new world, 100,000 things to see. I'm like a shooting star, I've come so far, I can't go back to where I used to be. With new horizons to pursue, I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare, come let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world, that's where we'll be. A thrilling chase, a wondrous place for you and me. So pretty. I love that song. All right, now I'm going to do a song about a famous Disney villain. And this is another one that I remember seeing in the movie theater when I was little. And again, it might have been in a re-release because you know how that's they bring it out of the vault and bring it back. But I do remember seeing this big, and I remember kind of being scared of it, scared of this woman that this song is about, from the film 101 Dalmatians. Cruella de Vil, if she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. To see her is to take a sudden chill. Cruella de Vil, the curl of her lips, the eyes in her stare, all innocent children had better beware. She's like a spider waiting for the kill. Look out for Cruella de Vil. At first you think Cruella is the devil, but after time has worn away the shock, you come to realize you've seen her kind of eyes watching you from underneath the rock. This vampire bat, this inhuman beast, she ought to be locked up and never released. The world was such a wholesome place until Cruella de Vil. Time has worn away the shock. You come to realize you've seen her kind of eyes watching you from underneath the rock. This vampire bat, this inhuman beast, she ought to be locked up and never released. The world was such a wholesome place until Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. Thank you for that request. And here's another one from This is 101. No, this is the Aristocats, right? This is the Aristocrats, going from dogs to cats. Okay. I didn't really intend to have a back-to-back, but they are. So this is one that I did. My friend Deborah Grace Weiner, who I've done so many shows with at the 92nd Street Y, she and Mark Waldrop and I put together a show a couple years ago all about dogs. And this was the one song that we did that was not about dogs. And I said, you know, people are going to get mad if we don't do any cat songs. So this is a fun song from the Aristocrats. Everybody wants to be a cat, because a cat's the only cat who knows where it's at. Tell me, everybody's picking up on that feline beat, 'cause everything else is obsolete. A square with a horn makes you wish you weren't born every time he plays. But with the square in the act, you can set music back to the caveman days. I've heard some corny birds who tried to sing. Still a cat's the only cat who knows how to swing, who wants to dig a long-haired gig and stuff like that. Oh, when everybody wants to be a cat. Keep people putting people to sleep, pounding the ivories. Where there's so much more hip, the band let it rip with the captain on the keys. Everybody wants to be a cat, because a cat's the only cat who knows where it's at. When playing jazz, he always has a welcome mat, 'cause everybody digs a swinging cat, 'cause everybody digs a jazzy cat. Everybody wants to be a cat. Everybody wants to be a swinging cat. That's a fun one to sing. I messed up that second bridge, but yeah, who cares? It's okay. It's fine. Let's move past. I'm going to sing a couple of really beautiful songs for you now. One is quite old, and the other one is the newest song that I'm doing tonight in the show. And I realized in going through this set, there's so many good songs that I've left out. So at some point, we'll do a part 2, as I mentioned before. But cheers to that. Because I know all of you have Disney favorites, and there's just no way in an hour that we can get to all of these. But my friend Justin Squiggs Robinson, who is such a great guy and a fantastic artist and does wonderful, very inventive and original caricatures of all the Broadway and show people. And if you're not familiar, I'm sure all of you are familiar with him, but if you haven't seen his stuff, check him out online. I think it's Squiggs Online. And he's just genius. And he, right after the show last week, said, this is a song that I love a lot. And I do too. This is from a film that I remember quite fondly from, I guess it came out maybe in like 1970 or something like that. Bedknobs and Broomsticks with Angela Lansbury. And this is a beautiful song. Another one by Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman. And I think it's got such a sweet, sweet lyric. She sings this to the small boy who's like just getting to that age where he's getting to be a tween, you know, and so he doesn't want to be thought of as like a little kid, like his little brother, and you know, he's just doubtful of everything, and she sings this very sweet song to him. when you rush around in hopeless circles, searching everywhere for something true. You're at the age of non-believing, when all the make-believe is through. When you set aside your childhood heroes and your dreams are lost up on a shelf, you're at the age of not believing, and worst of all, you doubt yourself. You're a castaway where no one hears you, on a barren isle in a lonely sea. Where did all the happy endings go? Where can all the good times be? You must face the age of not believing, doubting everything you ever knew, till at last you start believing there's something wonderful in you. Castaway where no one hears you, on a barren isle in a lonely sea. Where did all the happy endings go? Where can all the good times be? You must face the age of not believing, doubting everything you ever knew, till at last you start believing there's something wonderful in you. Isn't that a pretty song? From Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That's for you, Squigs. This song was from a film that came out just about 3 years ago, 2018, written by our good friends Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman. It's Mary Poppins Returns. And actually, Doug reminded me of how beautiful this song was. It's a very tender moment in the film when Mary Poppins, played by Emily Blunt this time around, is trying to comfort the children who've lost their mother. And, they're sad. And this just has got a great, great lyric. I'll let the lyric speak for itself, but it's a wonderful moment in the film. The whole film is great. I was so thrilled for those guys to get that film going, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful sequel, if you will. Probably not a sequel, but they really did the first film justice with what they did in the second film. It's just very lavish and wonderful. And this song got nominated for an Oscar, as well it should. This is called The Place Where the Lost Things Go. Just between the dark and the morning light, searching for the things you used to know, looking for the place where the lost things go. Do you ever dream or reminisce, wondering where to find what you truly miss? Well, maybe all those things that you love so are waiting in the place where the lost things go. Memories you've shed, gone for good you feared, they're all around you still, nothing's really left, are lost without a trace. Nothing's gone forever, only out of place. So maybe now the dish and my best spoon are playing hide and seek just behind the moon, waiting there until it's time to show. Spring is like that now, far beneath the snow, hiding in the place where the lost things go. Time to close your eyes so sleep can come around, for when you dream you'll find that all that's lost is found. Maybe on the moon, or maybe somewhere new. Maybe all you're missing lives inside of you. So when you need her touch and loving gaze, gone but not forgotten is the perfect phrase. Smiling from a star that she makes glow, trust she's always there, watching as you grow. Find her in the place where the lost things go. Wow. What a song. Oh, you guys, you wrote a beautiful lyric. Just great. Thank you so much. Lovely melody, lovely lyric. Thank you so much. Yes.
Well, we know Julie Andrews and Maureen O'Hara, but one of our viewers has a connection.
Oh, my God. David Lawrence is watching. Well, for one thing, hello, David Lawrence, for watching. Jackie Joseph and David Lawrence. And he wants to let us know that he was shown models of Disneyland by Walt Disney himself before Disneyland opened. And that was in 1955, I believe, when the park opened. Not to date you, David, but that is quite something to sit down with that man himself. I mean, listen, David Lawrence has had such a career. His wife, Jackie Joseph, we know she's had a fantastic career as an actress and performer. David has had an incredible career as a behind-the-scenes guy, an advertising guy, and a producer, and just such great showbiz. And he posts regular stories on Facebook about the adventures that he's had. Someday soon, I hope you're going to write a book. But anyway, that is massively cool to know that you actually got to see Disneyland before anybody else. I love knowing that. That's great. Well, we're wrapping up to the last little bit. Before I sing the last song, I wanted to sing. This is probably my very favorite. Well, it was my first favorite. It's not my favorite now, but it was my first favorite Disney song, and certainly the first one that I sang and knew the words to. So I have to sing it for you now. Deep in the 100-acre wood, where Christopher Robin plays, you'll find the enchanted neighborhood of Christopher's childhood days. A donkey named Eeyore is his friend, and Kanga and Little Roo. There's Rabbit and Piglet, and there's Al, but most of all Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, chubby little cubby all stuffed with fluff. He's Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, willy-nilly nilly, silly old bear. Everybody sing with me. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, chubby little cubby all stuffed with fluff. He's Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, willy nilly, silly old bear. So Winnie the Pooh was my very first toy. I was in love with Winnie the Pooh. He was my buddy, and we were inseparable ever since Christmas when I was 3 years old when I got him. Can you show the people that? What? Is it up there? There it is. I think that's from Christmas of 1964, maybe. I would have been almost 3 years old. That looks right to me. And that's my sister Beverly behind me. She would have been 10. She looks about 10 there. And that's half of my sister Susan. She's cut off on the side. She would have been 6 or 7. Anyway, I dug that out the other day because me and that Winnie the Pooh were inseparable. And it finally just disintegrated, I think. I think when I was like 5 years old and going to kindergarten, my parents said, you can't take that with you to school. It was that. Anyway, that picture shows you the love that I had for Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, this has been so much fun tonight. Thank you so much, Doug. Thank you so much, Rachel, for joining us. As I mentioned, we're not going to be here next week. We'll be here in 2 weeks on August the 12th. And for those of you in New York next week, please come to Birdland. See me with my trio anytime next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Also, there's the single Ordinary Miracles that came out. I mentioned it last week. It is available on all the streaming platforms. It was written by Alan and Marilyn Bergman and Marvin Hamlish, and I got an email from Alan Bergman today thanking me and telling me how much he loved the single. That was fantastic. All right, this is a song that I think is a good philosophy, and I think it's a great way to close part 1, I guess, because there's a lot more to do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, and don't be shy about the Venmo, don't be shy about the PayPal, and enjoy this next song from the Jungle Book. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, old Mother Nature's remedies that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants, take a glance at the fancy ants, and maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Now when you pick a pawpaw or a prickly pear and you prick a raw paw, well, next time beware. Don't pick the prickly pear by the paw. When you pick a pear, try to use the claw. But you don't need to use the claw when you pick the pear of the big pawpaw. Haven't I give you a clue? So many words. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Try and relax in my backyard. If you act like that bee acts, you're working too hard. Don't spend your time looking around for something you want that can't be found. When you find out you can live without it and go along not thinking about it, I'll tell you something true. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worry and your strife. You look for the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease. Just the bare necessities of life. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease. Just the bare necessities, just the bare necessities, just the bare necessities of life. Thank you. See you next week. Oh, 2 weeks from now. Have a great night. Thanks.